Ahoy, mateys. Welcome aboard my podcast. I am Jason with Jay's Paradise Travels, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experience in Coco Cay, and I look forward to telling you about it. I wasn't quite sure how to word it because the way that they present it on Royal Caribbean, they call it Perfect Day at Coco Cay. But when you look at it spelled out, it looks like it could rhyme if you were to say K instead of key. Perfect day at Coco Cay. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Word it however you want to word it. And I could think, do I say my experience in Perfect Day at Coco Cay? Do I say it that way? Because it's kind of weird that way to me. It is. Having a perfect day in Coco Cay? Did I have a perfect day? I don't know. Those were all the thoughts running through my mind when I was thinking about this podcast. I'll get into that eventually here, though, talking about all of it. First off, though, let me tell you some things here in case you want to go to Coco Cay, Coco Key. I think this is the technical way, the way to say it. Again, I'm struggling with all of this, how to pronounce everything. But anyways, if you want to go visit this place or go on a cruise specifically, because that is my specialty, and you want to go on vacation, go see all these things, you can reach out to me in a couple different ways. One of them is through social media. I have an Instagram and Facebook account. They're both the same. Jay's Paradise Travels. That is Jays with no apostrophe to make it easy for you. Jay's Paradise Travels. You can reach out to me through a message there. I also got pictures. Feel free to look at those. Or if you don't want to deal with social media and just email me directly, you could do that. j.paradise_travels@gmail.com is my email address. That is jay.paradise_travels@gmail.com. You can do that way. All right. So if you want to go on vacation, let me know. I'd be happy to get with you and we can book something. Let me tell you about this experience now here at Coco Cay. Coco Cay was something I didn't want to do. Now, this entire vacation that I just went on here, we were on the Star of the Seas. I say we, me, my wife, my dad, and some other friends. And it kind of something that we had planned to do a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago. We planned on going on Royal Caribbean on a cruise with some other friends, but they wanted something small, a little bit more, not as big, on the more on the intimate side, I guess you could say. And we had something planned out, but in time they weren't able to make it. So when I was looking at itineraries to be able to adjust to go on a different cruise than that one, I wanted to go to Coco Cay because I had never been there, and it looked really fun. It looked like a pretty nice island. I had been on other private islands before. I've been on Carnival's private island. I've been on MSC's private island. I had been to the private beach club on Virgin. So I've been to the private stuff. And Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, which are sister companies, they kind of do have a private thing in Labadee, Haiti, which I've been there too. So I've done the private things, but I've never gone to Coco Cay. So I really wanted to go on that, or go there, I should say, and to experience what it was like. And this itinerary that I had seen on Star of the Seas interested me because Coco Cay was at the beginning of the trip. So we set sail on Sunday, and immediately on Monday we were in Coco Cay. Most of the itineraries that I had seen, Coco Cay was at the end of it, right before you went back to port at the end of the trip. I didn't really want that, and the reason why was because, and this is just how my brain thinks, uh, if I were to do it at the very end, and let's say I get in my bathing suit, get in the water, swim around, whatever, and then that night I gotta pack and get everything ready to go for the next day. I don't know if my bathing suit's still going to be wet. If am I going to pack it when it's still soaking, or whatever? Is it going to smell? Because if you ever have something that's wet and you pack it away, when you pull it out later, it stinks. I didn't want to deal with all that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, if I do this at the beginning of the trip on Monday, right, and I have all the way till Sunday, I know everything will be dry by then, and I wasn't planning on going in the water after that, and I didn't. So that was why I wanted to do Coco Cay at the beginning of the trip and at the end. You may have similar thoughts. I don't know. Let me know if you do. Or if you are like, no, I'll do it at the end. I'm fine with that. You can let me know that too. I like to hear your thoughts. But that's my thoughts. That's my reasoning on it. And that's why I picked this particular one that had Coco Cay at the beginning. And sure enough, when we got there, We were docked next to Independence of the Sea. So this is Royal Caribbean's private island. There's two of them there, and I don't think they can host more than two. I don't recall seeing any other docks there. I think it's just the one, and it's kind of a decently long, not too long, but it long enough where you walk up there, and it's like you're kind of walking into an amusement park, a water park. And you see Perfect Day on one side, you see Coco Cay on the other side. I couldn't get that in one picture. I think I just focused on getting the picture of Coco Cay. And then when you walk up, you're walking up to an island, and when you get there, you're kind of uh, right. You can see like the biggest water slide, which is nice. I think it's the biggest one in the Caribbean. I want to say you're kind of like in the middle, unofficially. I don't think they have a name for it, but you're kind of like in the middle, central hub of it all. And they got people there playing music and dancing around. They had people there um, to ask questions for, which I remember once we got on the ship, they had people there who had a shirt that said "Ask Me," and they had people there on Coco Key doing the same thing. Um, but yeah, you're kind of in there, and then you can kind of go, you can go to the right and work your way down towards um, the more private area, I guess you could say. There is a part of the area that you can go that is paid. Um, it's almost like the water park, the paid water park that you got to go to within that amusement park, if that makes any sense. Even though it's not an amusement park, but there is a paid area where you have access to some wave pools and some other activities over there. Um, and then there's also like a private beach that I think again you have to pay for, but you go down there and it's more exclusive, more uh, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just more private over there. Anyway, so there's that to the right. If you go, or you can go straight, you can go left and make a circle around their, I think they call it Harbor Beach. We got there and we ended up going to the left. And when we went to the left, from there you kind of go over a big bridge, I guess you could say, and you're going towards what they call Chill Island. And Chill Island is, I guess you could say, just what it is. It's just a good place to chill at the beach. A good sized beach. Now, at first, we didn't go in the water right away. We kind of walked around the whole thing first, see what's going on, and then kind of decided to go from there. But anyways, we walked into Chill Island. We walked over the bridge. You could see the lagoon, which is really pretty. They have you can get in the water there too. They have, I guess you could say, a beach there as well. You can get in the water, but they don't want you jumping off the bridge. And we kind of got a kick out of the sign that they had there. It said, "Don't jump off the bridge; you'll scare the mermaids." We thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, so you go over the bridge, you get into Chill Island, and from there, as I mentioned, we kind of just kind of walked around, see what they had there. They had a beach and they had a pool. Um, and you have your option. You can go to either one. If you want to go into the beach, you want to go in the sea, go in the sea. If you don't feel like doing that, if you want to go into the pool instead, you can go to the pool. There's people I saw at both. And there was even some places to shop around too. They did have some shops too. So in the pool that I noticed too, good sized pool, but I noticed they also have what they call um, like a oh, it's a swim up bar. They have a swim up bar there. So I saw people in the water, and there's a bar in the middle, and people can swim up to it, go there, and get their drinks, which I guess is kind of cool. I didn't particularly do that myself, um, but the fact that it was there was I thought kind of interesting. And so I always kind of wonder about that too, because they usually do it by your card key for your room key, I should say. So do like people have their room keys in their swimsuits? And I don't even know where they put it. I wouldn't, whatever. Anyways, if you have a solution to that, you can let me know in the comments because I've never done it. Although I kind of like the concept, but I'm not a water guy, and I'll talk about that in a little while. So so if you're going, it's interesting where you're docked. You're north of it, but when you look at the map and you see what one place called South Beach is at the top of the map. So usually you're kind of used to the south being on the bottom of a map, not on the top. So if you're coming in from your ship and you go up the dock and into the island and make a left and go over that bridge, now you are heading eastbound doing that. So you go over the bridge and you go around. Chill Island is the farthest east of the island. You can continue walking that way, and as you're going there, you're going to eventually find yourself at Oasis Lagoon. That is, I guess you could say, more of the south side of the island, but not completely south, or central to south, I guess you could say. And over there, there's going to be more uh, pools and places to go on the beach. Um, and they also have a hot air balloon. Now, the hot air balloon was not working that day. I guess it was too windy. I don't recall it being that windy, but I'm guessing that was the reason why they didn't have it going. I looked at I looked it up, and I thought it was interesting too. I've never been in a hot air balloon before, but what they were charging for it and the amount of time that you're going to go up there, I didn't personally feel like that was worth it. If you've done it and you want to let me know if you feel like it's worth it, let me know. I'd be happy to know what it's like. But just to me, I didn't feel like it was all that worth it to for that amount of money for that amount of time. So we continued on, and as you kind of go around and you go around Oasis Lagoon, you're going to eventually find yourself near something called Splashaway Bay. Splashaway Bay. If I can talk here. Splashaway Bay. Try saying that 10 times fast. A little bit more geared towards kids, kind of like a jungle gym filled with water, you know, that kind of thing. There's water shooting out all over the place, and not you're not really swimming in a pool necessarily. The kids are just having fun in the water. And I guess maybe adults could too. They got some water slides there as well. But yeah, I think it's mainly just geared towards kids. And they have something similar, a splash pad on the ship as well, Star of the Seas, what we were on. But they have that on at Coco Cay too. And then from there, we ran into another like bar food area called Captain Jack's, which again, if you're coming from the boat from the ship and you're heading towards the island, you can see it straight ahead of you. We just went the other way around. We didn't go straight and around. We went left and around. So we kind of came up to Captain Jack's the back way, I guess you could say. Their food and drinks did look pretty good. We didn't get anything. We just decided to wait till they served lunch and just eat the free stuff. And we didn't get anything to drink. But that's also by the water there, that lagoon that you walk around. So if you do like maybe grabbing some, I don't know what they had, like buffalo wings or something like that, or you want to grab a daiquiri or something or a beer by the water, that's a nice place to do it. And that's kind of like the walking thing now around. They had stuff that's um, on the perimeter, I guess you could say, but they also had a tram to be able to do that, which we did eventually go to. So once we walked around, and we were finished walking around, we walked through Chill Island, we walked through Oasis Lagoon, we walked through the Splashaway Bay. We started heading now west towards where that private more area was. We saw the entrance to where it's like the paid water park area, and in that paid water park, you've got what's called Daredevil's Tower. That's going to be that tall, huge water slide that you're gonna see in every picture, and you're gonna see as you're walking up to the island from the ship. I mean, it just towers over everything. And I think I heard someone say that it's the tallest water slide in the Caribbean. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. So that's in there, and they also had just some other water slides and a wave pool. All that's in that, like, I think they call it through a water park if I remember correctly. They have like a wave pool, an adventure pool, their splash summit. I think those are all part of that. We didn't go in there. You can see people like there, not guards, but just people like, all right, you have a pass in here. They check your ticket or check your card, I should say, and if you bought it or not. More than likely, you can buy it on the island because that's what we do with the zip line. Which, as we were going that way, we bypassed that. We saw the zip line. I had looked on the app because zip line did kind of interest me. because I think ziplining is fun. We did it once on our honeymoon down in Jamaica, and then we did it like on Carnival Mardi Gras a little bit on the ship itself. They have the little obstacle course. Part of it was a zip line. Other than that, that was it. But mainly, it was basically our honeymoon 15 years ago when we were down in Jamaica, and I had a blast then. So I looked at it on the app, and it just said sold out. And then I saw the price of it too. It was a little higher than I wanted to pay, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I think I would find, I guess you could say, it would be a it would be a little bit more worth it to me than the hot air balloon, because it would take a little longer. I think I would find a little bit more enjoyment out of it. But again, it said sold on the app. Well, I was just kind of curious. So what I ended up doing was going up to the desk, the little area there that you get the information and you the check in for the excursion. I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, I'm just kind of curious. Do you guys have any spots available?" They're like, "Yeah, we could take you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then he showed me the price, and it was a lot lower than what I saw in the app. So I started asking him. I'm like, "Oh, okay. How many lines do you go? You go on. There's three different lines. Oh, okay. Is that all of them? Do you do all of them or just some of them?" He's like, "No, you do all of them." Oh, okay. I just all right, cool. Yeah, let's sign up for it. It was like $20 cheaper than what I saw in the app. And I asked Selena, I was like, would you want to do it? Are you interested? And she's kind of like, sure, yeah, let's do it. She wasn't expecting it, and I guess to a degree, neither why. It was more of a spur of the moment thing. We didn't have it planned, but we were there, and it was cheaper, and it looked fun, and yeah, let's do it. So we give them our card, we sign up for it, and they have us go around the corner where they have lockers. We got to put our stuff in the locker. The lockers were free. That was nice. We had a little bit of trouble getting one of them to work, so we went to a different one, and that one worked. It wasn't too difficult. Just that one wasn't working for whatever reason. We get in there and um, we sit down, and they start putting all the harness stuff on us. It took them like 1 minute to do it. If it would have been me, it would have took me a half hour to try to figure it out. Them, they're like like a like a professional artist doing some work. He just done. I guess when you do it every day, all day long, you probably get really fast at it. And then from there, we went outside, back around to close to um, where we signed up for it. And from there, they had a TV where you had to sit down and watch like an instruction video with it. Not that it was overly complicated. You're not about to perform surgery or anything like that. But there's some stuff you need to know, like how to sit, and how your positions, especially when you're coming in to land, so to speak. And it's going to be a lot of exercise going up the stairs. So if you have any health issues, if you're pregnant, back problems, that type of stuff, goes over all that. So there was me and Selena, and there was a few other people, and we did that, and then we started walking up the stairs. And as we were walking up the stairs, so that's a good 3 to 4 stories high. So you definitely have to be in some kind of relative shape in order to go up there. You don't have to be someone that has to, can go into a decathlon or something. You don't have to be that tip-top shape, but you have to at least climb up a few sets of stairs. And as you're going up there, I'm looking out and I see some nice views, and I really like that, being able to see some elevated views. We get up there, and they can do like two at a time, but they want you to stand behind a yellow line until they're ready for you. And they take you like one at a time, hook you up, let you stay there, and then go get the other person, hook them up, and then you both can go down together. And me and Selena got to do that. We go down, and just it's so fun. It just you're flying down there. You got a great view, wind in your face, and it's really cool. Now the landing position is kind of like an awkward landing position. And I'm a guy, I can't relate to this, but Selena kind of likened it to like if it's a woman going in for like a gynecological exam. That kind of awkward, weird position that you're finding yourself in. Your back, your legs are up, spread apart. It's kind of a weird, awkward position to land to. I keep saying land. I don't know if that's what the right term is, but when you're coming to the end of the line, that's kind of like your position that you have to get yourself in. But even despite that, still very fun. They got someone at the very end that that helps you out once you come to the end of the line. They'll grab you. They bring up a ladder, and then you stand on the ladder, and they come up there and kind of unharness you as you hold on to it and take you get down, and then you go to the next one. From there, you climb up another 3, 4 stories. We did that. Got to take some pictures. Do it again, and just repeat the process. And at the third one, I remember somehow we were ahead of somebody, and there was one person there, single, and so they asked another guy if he wanted to come to join them to make a double. Sure, they did that. But that guy was with another couple people, so we're like, hey, this is your family. We don't want to split you up. You can go ahead of us. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. It's fine. So they went ahead of us so that they could go right behind their family and stay intact. And then for that last one, I was talking with the guy that was working there, and just kind of brought up his girlfriend was on a cruise at the moment. I thought maybe working it because he's working on a cruise. Maybe she did the same thing. So he's like, no, no, she's actually on the cruise. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And we got to talking about how I got on and everything like that. And he had mentioned that sometimes on the island they give you a discount for it, and that must have been what was it. I was like, oh, okay. Because in my mind, I was thinking maybe it's less expensive, but you don't do as many of the lines. Like maybe there's 5 lines, but you only do 3, and that's why it's cheaper. And it's like, no, just sometimes they give discounts on the island. Cool, good to know. um, so that's why I kept asking that guy, and he's probably wondering like, why is he asking me this? So after at the end, once you're off of it, you get off of it, you find yourself kind of closer to where Captain Jack's is, or the Splashway Bay, something like that. Um, yeah, you're a little bit further away, so you got to actually kind of walk back towards it. Not that far, 5 minute walk, something like that. It's not too far. And when I got there, started taking everything off and giving it back to him. I told the guy, I told him, I learned that sometimes it's cheaper on the island to actually book this, and that's why I was wondering why. I kept asking him, why is there only 3? Is that Uh, I did. I thought maybe we just didn't get as many. That's why it's cheaper. They say, "Oh, okay, that's what you're asking." Not that he was bothered by it, but just we kind of laughed at it. Anyways, so from there, once we were done with once we were done with the zip line, which I will admit that was the highlight of my day, and I thought it was, especially with it being discounted. Um, I thought it was worth it. I had a blast with it. I got some good exercise because going up those towers takes a little of exercise to do, and then just how you're holding on and position your body, you're going to get a little bit of a workout with it, a little bit, not strenuous, but a little bit. Um, so I was able to get a little bit of exercise in. I had a blast doing it. It was at a cheaper rate. I just that was the highlight of the day for me was doing that zip line. If you're like me and you like zip line, I think you would enjoy it too. All right, once we were done with that, we started going over to well, we started walking. We noticed there was like a little tiny tram, like some, well, I don't know if tram's the right word, cart that there's like a little shuttle service that they had. And we started walking over towards like where the private area beach was, but you had to have like a reservation for that or whatever. Like, oh, okay. So we didn't do that, but we hopped on one of those little shuttles or trams, and that took us uh, to South Beach, which um, there we got off. A bunch of people were there, and we went onto the beach there. At the beach there, they have obviously the beach with your typical places to sit. You can go in the water, but out in the water, they also had like private. I want to say cabanas, which you can get private cabanas too, but I forgot what they call them out there. But like these private places where you can, maybe they are cabanas. I don't know. They're little hut-looking things in the water. They have a place you can sit. You can dive off the little dock there. Um, you can rent those out, and so there was a bunch of those out in the water. That was near the Coco Beach Club, which we didn't really go to the Coco Beach Club, but we stuck around South Beach, and on South Beach, in addition to just regular beach, a lot of people there. There was also they had like a little they had games in the sand, the pickleball, volleyball, basketball. So they had some sporting things going on. They had a place to eat, a little snack shack, which we ended up kind of munching a little bit on that. We had what did we have there? I think I wanted to try their brownie, which was actually really good. They had a couple other things there. Um, we kind of just munched on a little bit, had something to drink while we were there. Didn't stay too long. I thought about going in the water there because I had my bathing suit with me. I was wearing it, in addition to like pants and shirt and all that. But I didn't go. There was just like a lot of people there, and, so like I didn't feel like going there. So we ended up getting back on the tram, and from the tram there, then it took us all the way over to back to the east side of the island, uh, where is Chill Island. So we kind of bypassed some things, kind of going around Chill Island. Some of our friends were over there. They were at the beach hanging out. We were hoping to maybe find them, but we couldn't. Um, just didn't cross paths that day. And my dad, I don't know if he came out. He came out maybe he came out at a different time than we did. So we go to Chill Island, and from there we find a place to sit. And since it was just us two, Selena ended up going in the water, and I just kind of stayed back and watched our stuff, laid down. Couldn't quite take a nap, but just kind of laid there and just rested and while she was in the water. Um, and then she came out after a while. I forgot how long she was in there for. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll go. She wanted to give her mom a call. And so I went in there. And the last time I think I was in the water was when we were at the private island for Carnival. Um, and that I actually had a good time. But I was with people then. This time I was just by myself. And it was a little chilly, not too bad. It was definitely tolerable. Like if you just man up and dive in, your body will get used to it. But I was kind of doing the slow little descent in where it's like, all right, here I am now ankle high. Go down a little further. Now I'm knee high in the water. And a little bit further down, now I'm thigh high. Whatever. I didn't get fully in. And I don't even think I got my legs fully in. I was just kind of in there. And here's the thing with me that I've realized, and I'm just gonna be straight up honest with it. I am not a beach person. I am not a water person. I just am not. I was doing it because I was there, and I remember thinking the whole, let's go to Coco Cay at the start of the trip. So when if I get in the water, I have all week to do it, to dry it out. So it's like I felt obligated to go in there. And again, maybe not have anyone around, may have not even, but I was uncomfortable. I was not having a good time. I'm just kind of sitting there, just standing there, not even sitting, standing there, arm crossed, halfway in the water, watching other people enjoy it, and I'm not comfortable with this. And there's a few reasons why. First off, I don't like water. I mean, I like looking at water. I don't like being wet. Unless I'm taking a shower, I am not a fan of being wet. Just am not. Like if you go to like a show, I don't know, show at Disney or Universal or something like that, and you get wet from the show or wet from a ride. I hate that. Like I do not want to be wet. Don't splash me. I do not want to be wet. So getting in the water, there's strike one. Strike two, I am not a fan of sand. I don't like the feel of it. I hate the feel of it. And I know there's probably a bunch of you out there that love the beach, love the feel of sand. They want to walk in the sand and all that. Good for you. I hate it. I hate the feel of it. I hate that it gets all over you, gets all over the place. It just makes everything look so dirty and just not a fan of sand. Not a fan at all. And I take after my mom with this because my dad loved the beach. He grew up in Athens, right next to the Mediterranean Sea. Grew up every day going to the beach, and he loves the beach. He loves the water. Good for him. I hate it. I took after my mom. She didn't like it at all. So there's strike number two. And strike number three, I've realized like, and you could probably relate to this, maybe not to the exact same thing, but if in your childhood somebody or something you got teased about, that sticks with you and it's hard to get out of it. And I remember as a kid being teased about my stomach. Um, I think it was like seventh grade or something like that. And prior to that, never was self-conscious. After that, I got more self-conscious about it. And there are a couple other things that I'm self-conscious about. And when you're self-conscious about something, no matter what it is, you will find a way to hide it. You will cover your mouth if you're self-conscious about your teeth. You will hide whatever it is that you're self-conscious about. Me, amongst a few things, one of it is my stomach. I got, I wasn't even like a humongous kid or anything like that. I've never been obese. I've always been an average, but I've not been super slender, nor am I chiseled in my abs, which I wish I was. That would be awesome. I'm not. And so because of it, I'm very self-conscious about it. And I judge no other guy that is not like that, who looks like me or is even bigger than me. I judge nobody on it. I just don't like it myself. Maybe you can relate to that. Or maybe you have something that you're self-conscious about. Regardless, that's what I'm self-conscious about. So I don't like being in a bathing suit. Uh, and when you're on the beach, it's not like you can go on the beach fully clothed. You got to be in a bathing suit to do it. Granted, I did have like a shirt on, like a sleeveless shirt, but still, just wasn't comfortable. Wasn't comfortable with it, and especially when you're on a cruise and you're eating a bunch of food and it's whatever. I was just not comfortable. I stood out there for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I I I don't. I'm not comfortable with the way I look. I'm not comfortable being in the water. I'm not comfortable being on the sand. I'm not comfortable with any of this. I shouldn't have to force myself to do this. I'm a 41-year-old man. What am I proving to anyone or anything? I'm just doing it in my own mind because I said, let's go to Coco Cay, the start of it, towards the end, for this very reason. So I felt like obligated to do it. But in all honesty, I don't want to be in here, and so I got out. and and then from there, we ended up going to the little um, grill that they had. I think it's called Chill Grill. We went to the little Chill Grill, had some food there. What did I have there? I want to say I had like a taco. They had like a taco bar there. I had a taco. That was pretty good actually, pretty flavorful. They had different juices. I tried a little bit of each, and I want to say like a little sandwich. I tried that too, like Philly cheesesteak sandwich or something like that. Did that, and then after that we headed back onto the ship. Now because I was still in my bathing suit, at that point I'm like, all right, I'm in my bathing suit. I'm wet. Um, if I'm going to go into the water on the ship, now's the time to do it. And that's what I did. Now, this is going a little bit outside the experience of Coco Cay, but Coco Key. I catch myself saying it both ways, but I'm just going to add it to it. So, on the ship, they have a ton of humongous um, water slides. I thought about going on them. I was really going to go on, but one of them you had to take off your water shoes, which I had water shoes on. Didn't feel like doing that. And then another one which looked interesting. You had to have like this sled looking thing that you hold on to. It's not a sled, but it's just what it reminds me of. I think it's made of foam or something like that. You had to go get one. I just didn't feel like going to get it, and I didn't feel like dragging it up there, and so I didn't do the water slide. And those water slides are all on the back of the ship. There's also like a flow rider that they have where it's like surfing. I thought about trying that. Way too many people there. Didn't feel like waiting in line. Didn't feel like being being in front of everyone with all eyes on me. Just didn't feel like doing it. Didn't do it. If you love this type of stuff, this is me again with the whole self-conscious thing, with the whole not like being wet thing. That's me. If that is up your alley, you will love it. You will love the water slides. You will love Flow Rider. You will love the beach. You will love it all if that is your cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. It's amazing that I go on these cruises, even though those things are not my cup of tea. I still love cruises. But if it is up your alley, you will love it. But in the back of the ship, there is a place called the Hideaway, which is just 18 and older. We went down there, and in the down there they have what is an infinity pool. Got into the infinity pool. Now, similar to my mom, if my mom had to be in the water, she would much rather be in a pool than in the beach. My dad is the exact opposite. He would much rather be in the beach than in the pool. I took after my mom. If I have to be in the water, I would much rather be in a pool than on the beach. Being that said, I ended up going into the infinity pool. You had to kind of shower off first, which I they had like a little shower there, so you can rinse off, which I did. Got in there. Water was not as cold as the water that was in the sea. It was a little bit more on the warmer side, a little cool, but uh, not as chilly as the beach one. Even that wasn't that bad. Like I said, you could get used to it within a few minutes. I just didn't. I didn't make that effort. But I got into the infinity pool. Selena again stayed with the stuff, and and then in time she came on in. It was like the stuff is in viewpoint. It's like 10 feet away. You're gonna be fine. um, so she came in into, and we were in there for a little bit, and I love the view back there. With, I mean, first off, you're like it's just glass, and you can kind of like hang over it a little bit if you can find a spot. Well, a lot of people were crowding it, but somebody left, and I kind of went in there, and then you're looking out, and you just got this view on the back of the ship, and that view was the island, and it was a really nice view back there of all of Coco Key. I really liked the view. Um, and so and then eventually we got out, and that was it for that. I hung up my bathing suit, let it dry it all week, and by the time Saturday evening came around, that shirt that I was wearing, that sleeveless shirt, as well as the bathing suit, completely dry, worked out, brought it home, threw it in the wash. Anyway, so that was my experience with Coco Key. Perfect day at Coco Key. That's what they call it. It was a perfect day for me. I don't know if I would call it a perfect day. I mean, it's a nice place to visit for sure. Um, I think if I were a water fan, if I liked being in a pool and or beach, if I enjoyed all that stuff, the sand, the water, wasn't self-conscious, yeah, I probably would have had a blast there. I didn't, and I think that's just because of my own insecurities. And the one thing that I did enjoy the most was ziplining. That was me. So I go to Coco Key with all this water stuff, and the thing I love the most was ziplining. But that's that is up my alley. I enjoy stuff like that. But I think though it is a nice place. Out of all the private islands that I have visited so far, that one was my favorite. Most private islands that I've gone to so far, it's kind of just beach and some food. I haven't seen too many other activities. Here, there's beach, food, pool, zip line, hot air balloon. There's some other things. Now, granted, there's going to be others coming out. I saw that Norwegian had one very close by. I don't know what they all have on theirs, and I don't even know what it's called, but Norwegian is very close by. You could see it from there. And then Celebration Key from Carnival. I know that's opened up recently. That I think is similar to Coco Key. I haven't been there yet because it's brand new and haven't had a chance to go yet. Um, and they probably have some activities. But as of what I've experienced so far with the private islands and including the private beach club in Virgin, this was my favorite. Just because again there was a little bit more to do. Um, and I appreciate it. And I think you would too. In all honesty, I think it is a nice place to go. And if you do like being in the water, I think you will love it. And if you do want to go, if you do want to experience Coco Key and have a perfect day at Coco Key, let me know and I will be happy to book it for you. You can reach out to me again a couple different ways. One way is through social media. You can look me up at Jay's Paradise Travels. That's Jays, no apostrophe. Jay's Paradise Travels. As I mentioned, there's also pictures up there. You can look at the pictures. You can send me a direct message there. We can link up that way. If you're not a social media person and want to reach out to me that way, that's fine too. You can send me an email at j.paradise.travels@gmail.com. Again, JAYJ.paradise.travels@gmail.com. You can send me an email and we can talk that way. Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, watching this on YouTube, I should say, down below in the description, you'll see a bunch of different links to different things that I'm associated with. One of them, there's a calendar that you can click on it and book an appointment with me. We could talk either on the phone, we can get together via Zoom, one of those two, and we can discuss it face to face. Or you could go to my website, and from there, there's a way to reach out to me through my website as well. So a lot of different options make it easy for you to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel as I continue to try to post content about my travels and other just travel-related industry topics. Share it with others. Referrals are always huge in our industry. And I want to be your travel agent, your family, your friends' travel agent. Try to make this world a happier place, one vacation at a time. And one way to do that is by word of mouth. So please do that. Feel free to share it with others. Um, and a 5-star review. Uh, Put down some comments in the comment section. Tell me about your experience at Coco Key, or if you'd like to go to Coco Key. if your experience about Royal Caribbean, anything, feel free to put some comments. All those things help podcasters keep their podcast going, and those podcasters are just podcasters. Me, this is also part of my business, trying to build up the business, get my name out there. So please do all those things that help in that regards. That would be greatly appreciated. Um, yeah, so thank you again for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it, took something away from it, and I look forward to talking with you again another time soon. Take care. Bye bye.